Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week, get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock. With news, Beijing has raised minimum deposit requirements for first home buyers. But first, American consumers became a bit more optimistic about prospects for their economy, as well as their own personal finances, in September. That's according to the respected University of Michigan survey of consumers. Consumer sentiment has remained at high levels throughout the past year, with only small month-to-month variations. Rising incomes and declines in food and fuel prices were responsible for the recent confidence gains. But American consumer spending fell in August for the first time in 7 months, while inflation showed signs of accelerating, mixed signals that could keep the Federal Reserve cautious about raising interest rates. In China, activity in their services industries expanded in September at a slightly faster pace than the previous month, and at a very respectable index level of 53.7. The factory sector is only marginally back in expansion territory, however, but from an annual perspective, that is a good result. But not such a good result is that corporate China is now seriously delaying trade payments, a sign of increasing stress. Bloomberg is reporting that average payment times ballooned out to 92 days in 2016, up from a cyclical low in 2008 of 52 days. This sort of management is a sure sign of corporate immaturity. The equivalent delay for New Zealand is just 35 days, a decline from 52 days also in 2008. Beijing is in the middle of a housing bubble. Their response is to try and quell demand by raising the loan deposit requirement to 35% from 30% for first home buyers and to 50% for investment purchases. Worldwide, there is plenty of focus on the financial state of Deutsche Bank, but some analysts are suggesting this is a bit misplaced. It has 44 billion euros of Tier 1 equity in place now, a 10.8% capital ratio. For reference, ANZ New Zealand has a 10.4% Tier 1 capital ratio. But Deutsche Bank will only be in serious trouble if it can't maintain a 7% capital ratio, and that would need 15 billion more of new losses. All its current litigation liabilities have been provided for. However, while we're looking at downside risks, we should also remember it has a 2019 obligation to get its regulatory capital up to 12.25%. Whatever happens, it will be just another big bank that needs more capital. In New York, the US Treasury 10-year yield bounced back up at the end of trading last week, is now at 1.6%. The US benchmark oil price was little changed at the end of last week, now at $48 a barrel, while the Brent benchmark is now at $49 a barrel. Rig counts in North America continue their rise. In fact, the better-than-expected Canadian GDP result was largely attributed to higher oil and mining output. The gold price was down, however, now at $1,316 an ounce. But the New Zealand dollar is a little higher today than at this time on Friday, now at 72.9 US cents, on the cross rates at its 95.2 Aussie cents, 64.8 euro cents, and the TWIs at 75.9. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.